This is Lorena Mora-Mowry from Latina Today. We have the pleasure to interview today Tilly Hidalgo Lima. Welcome to Latina Today.
Thank you.
Tilly is from Cincinnati, but because we're storytellers and we have the opportunity to see, interview a successful Latina, I want to hear your story. You need to tell us the story so we can inspire other Latinas. So Tilly, tell me about your childhood, your upbringing. You were here, you were born, where you were born?
So I was born in La Habana, Cuba. It was in 1960, and when I was 10 months old, my mom, Matilde, and my dad, Alberto Hidalgo, we escaped from communist Cuba. And when we landed, we left everything behind. My dad said we could only bring one suitcase, and my mother was expecting my sister, Mari Carmen. And when we landed, we declared asylum because my dad had worked against the revolution, the communist revolution. And we were able to then, 2 days later, fly to Atlanta, Georgia, where our family was. And by the grace of God, we were able to leave and come to the United States seeking freedom. So freedom is very important to me. And when we were in Atlanta, we lived in the projects of Techwood, which is now part of the Olympic Village next to Georgia Tech. So my dad was able to go to college again, get his master's and his PhD. Thank God my mom had the foresight to bring all his transcripts because the University of Havana had closed, and so he did not have a diploma, that he already was a chemical engineer. He sold pots and pans door to door, worked as a teaching assistant, and in '66 we came to Cincinnati. So Cincinnati's been home, and I was like the little girl in Spanglish translating for my mom. And she would go downtown for the Legal Aid Society for teaching English. And she and her friend Mireya would then go to Skyline Chili afterwards. She always would tell me how much fun it was to come downtown. And I'm the oldest of 6 children. We only spoke Spanish at home until I was 12. And I give my mother and father a lot of credit for being my role models and teaching me to have perseverance, to have faith, and how important family is, to not give up. And that search, that quest for the American dream and that it is possible, that has been what has guided me as my compass.
The quest of American dream for all of us, education.
Education.
You went to college.
Yes.
And also to be an entrepreneur and start your business. But you went to college and you started to be a pharmacist, correct?
Yes. So my abuelo Paco, my father's father, was a pharmacist, and my abuelo René was an attorney. So I became the pharmacist, and Mari Carmen became the lawyer. And then along the way, all 6 of his children received a college education. So they're very, very proud of that. And I paid for my own way to go through college at the University of Cincinnati College of Pharmacy. It was a 5-year program when I graduated in '83. And it was a good thing because when my husband started our business, we lived off my income when we had 3 small daughters. Jessie at the time was 8, Natalie was 5, and Sophia was only 2.
You were a pharmacist. You decided to start business. Tell me about this idea of she's the president and CEO of Best Upon Request. And you can see all the words. So let's talk about this idea. How you came up with this idea? Because it's a business that started in 1983,
1989. So Dave is the idea guy. I'm the do girl. Mm-hmm. I get things done, and I'm about execution and putting process in place. Mm-hmm. And I'm very, I love working with people. I have a passion for people, and so it was his idea and his vision that got me very excited that I could support it. And so I remember when Anderson Consulting was our first client, and that was in 1993. So he went to the guys who started the business in 1989 and said, I have a new idea. Why don't you go into the corporate world and sell the service of a concierge with the capability of running errands for people as an employee benefit. People don't have enough time. They're stressed out. 2 families are earning power. So both mom and dad are out working, and there's so many things that the family is compromised. And so his idea was to then bring it as a benefit, to look at employers as the buyer.
How difficult? Let's talk about challenges, because it was a great idea.
Yes.
But what the biggest challenge that you faced first of all, as a Latin entrepreneur, but also in your business.
Yeah. So one of the first challenges Dave had was people would say, oh, great idea, but let me know when somebody else is doing it.
Yeah.
So that's why we're so grateful that Anderson Consulting was our first client. And so from there we were in 18 of their cities, and then after that more corporations came on. And then I came on as Vice President of Operations in 1996. And I was able to focus on the operations and look at processes, and we started growing more, and then we did a shift into healthcare, which is near and dear to my heart, to care for people, their well-being, be preventative. And I saw filling a prescription is very much like filling a request. And so you do it with quality and excellence and with the experience of the customer in mind. And so that's where we've started focusing, and we started growing a lot with hospital care. And most recently, in addition to serving the employees of hospitals, we are now serving the patients. So imagine you're at the hospital and you came in by ambulance, and your car is now at Kenwood Town Center, and you don't know how to get it, and you don't have family or a network of friends who could go retrieve your vehicle. Our concierges will do that. So today we're at Cincinnati Children's Hospital serving the families, the patients, and the employees.
What about your secret to be, once I know there's perseverance, secret to be successful entrepreneur, I think to create a business thanks to her husband too, but as you as a voice of all the Latinas too, because you are an example for all of us.
Yes. So as a Latina, I think it's really important that we share our story and let people know what we've overcome. And so I do take that responsibility as, if I can do it, you can do it. And so let me lift you up. So that's also the YWCA motto, lift as you climb, and I take that to heart. So whenever I have an opportunity to be the only Hispanic or the only Latina in the room, I want to make sure people know that there are others like me, and I'm just representative. And so part of the success is knowing that I don't have all the answers, and I want to reach out and I will ask thought leaders, and that's why I created my board of advisors, help me. And people want to help successful, passionate people, women and Latinas. And so surrounding yourself with that circle of influencers or others who can lift you up, and finding a mentor, that is so important. And then not giving up on your goals. I remember I wanted to be a YWCA Career Woman of Achievement. And year after year I said, we're not giving up. So I didn't give up the first time. I didn't give up the second time. So on the fourth year, I was selected.
I should keep, you have done so much. But what is in your future? Because we are Latina, we always think about it.
Yeah.
We never stop thinking, what next?
Yeah.
What next for Tilly?
Well, I think continuing to grow the business and making an impact in all the communities that we serve. We're in 12 states. We just opened up in Arizona. So we're coast to coast, and I just see us expanding ever more and being such a part of the fabric of work, and looking at personal satisfaction, patient satisfaction, and what we can do to make an impact and make people feel valued. So I just see lots of opportunities. I love working with my daughters. We have a great team here. So that family feel, I can see others wanting to learn from us, and how did we create this kind of culture. Last year, I'm very proud to say that the company, we became debt-free, which was a very huge undertaking. And it's even what we offer our employees, our team members, if they go through the Dave Ramsey Financial Peace University, they also get reimbursed that amount from the company, because we see that if you are good financial stewards, personally, you're going to be a good financial steward when you come to work. Very strategic. So I just see even more impact. I'm very involved in the community. I'm on the United Way board, the executive committee. I'm the secretary this year for the board of directors, YWCA board. I'm also on a board of advisor of a small business. And so I have said, when you put together a board of advisor or a board of directors, ensure that there's the face of your customer, so that you can make better decisions. And all the studies indicate that when you have the women on the boards of directors, the bottom line improves. And so I aspire someday to be a Hispanic woman on a board of directors for a for-profit company.
Let's talk about the people that inspired the most when you were a child.
When I think about my parents and my grandparents, women in Cuba many of them worked. So my grandmother worked for the Department of Education, and her husband was the lawyer, and Abuela Carmita was a teacher. And so I saw a lot of women in the family have careers, and I heard the stories. And my mom has been the most inspirational when it comes to echar pa'lante, you know, to move ahead and to create an attitude of you can do it, and overcome obstacles, because that's what she did when she was 21 years old, escaping from a very nice life to then going basically to poverty, and then seeing my dad achieve and being my dad's cheerleader. So she's always been my cheerleader. My dad, what I've learned from him is his generosity and his kindness, and he's so smart. And so that combination, I feel so blessed that I have them as my parents, because they truly have been inspiring and so believed in me. And my mom says that she's also part of the board of advisors because she's giving me advice all the time.
When we define today's Latina in words, how you define Latinas today?
Latinas today are about making things happen. I think it's we're shaking things up in our communities, in our businesses. We're the fastest growing business owners. And so there's something to be said about taking risks.
Because we talk about challenges, but how we overcome the challenges. It's about the fear of...
So one of the fears that I had early on was, I'm a pharmacist and I don't have a business training. And for me, it wasn't so much a fear, it was a limiting belief. In my mind, I thought, how could I be in the corner office as the CEO of a multi-million-dollar company without having a business background? And so then I pushed myself that every opportunity I wanted to learn. So I joined Vistage. I became part of a CEO roundtable. There were speakers that would come in. I would listen. I had the opportunity through the South Central Ohio Minority Supplier Diversity Council to apply for a scholarship. I went to Kellogg School of Management at Northwestern. Then later I went to Tuck School of Management. So those week-long intensives were so powerful, and yet it was really scary. I would get up at 6 in the morning and stay up till midnight, learning and studying because I wanted to be better. And so I remember someone saying to me later, why did you go to Kellogg first? That's the most difficult one. I said, no one let me know that until after the fact. So it was like trial by error, but you know, I made it. I learned so much. It impacted my business and how we were going to be doing things. And so it's pushing through some of those fear, and courage is what is required. And that comes from your heart. And so we as Latinas, we can muster up that courage, and we're able to have others encourage us. And so I think that's where the family comes in, and that's where really close friends, because you want to make sure that you share goals with others who deserve that trust. And so instead of saying, oh, you can't do it, you don't have the capability, you surround yourself with people.
Thank you so much, David.
Gracias.